Hey guys, this is Brian Parker from Tactical Sovereignty, and I was looking around on social media tonight, and I see people again talking about like the do not detain list or do not arrest list. Uh, Somebody called it the do not interfere list, something like that. I was talking this afternoon to one of the OGs in this movement. Uh, when I say OG, I'm talking about one of the old guys or original gangsters, however you want to put it. And this was something I saw a long time ago. It came from Copper Moonshine Stills. It was involving their passport situation and how to fill that out and get on the do not detain list. It talked about becoming a diplomat. Well, that's what they referred to. Well, number one, in order to become a diplomat, you need to be invited by another country. All right? You just cannot name yourself a diplomat. It doesn't work that way. And when it comes to the do not detain list or do not arrest list, there's only two ways you are going to get on that list. And none of them are very cool. The first one is if you are a CI, if you are a confidential informant, you will be put on the do not detain list. Why? Well, because you're evidently involved in an operation that they don't want to have get exposed. Okay? The second way that you do not get detained or do not get arrested or get on this so-called list is if you are someone who is currently being investigated for a nefarious crime. Why? Because they do not want to foil that search that they are doing. They don't want to foil that investigation that they are doing. So they want you left alone. They want you to feel like or look like, hey, you're flying safe. Everything's cool, right? So, no. Getting on either of those lists is not necessarily a good thing. Stop and think about this for a second. If you were running a country, I don't care, you're president, whatever you want to name yourself, what group of people would you decide would be a good idea to have on a do not detain list? Meaning, these people can run roughshod, do whatever they want, and nothing will happen to them. Does that sound like a good idea? Does that sound like something that you would want any group of people to be on a list for? Absolutely not. That's nothing but a total recipe for destruction right there. It's a recipe for disaster, for sure. So, no, that's not a list you want to be on. That's not a list that they create for just anybody. And I'm sure everybody wishes they were on a list like that to where they didn't get messed with. I'll tell you what, there's some good ways to not get messed with. And I've explained this in previous episodes. We have to understand what contract law is. We have to comprehend how we have tied ourselves into the system and go back and correct those things. Because you've done nothing but consented to be essentially a slave or a servant to the system. In Europe, one of the common greetings is servos. What does servos mean? Servant. I am your servant. And many other countries say, like Europe or Great Britain, you're considered a subject. They considered that when creating the United States of America, whether to use the term subject or not. They felt like it was a little too harsh. So they decided to go with the term citizen instead. An old Roman law term. Go figure. Well, guess what servant, servos, subject, guess what those mean? They mean the same exact thing as citizen. They're all synonymous. So even if you want to call yourself a national as well, it is Same thing. It's the same as a subject. It's the same as a citizen. These words are all synonymous with each other. Don't take my word for it. Go look this stuff up, because that's how I learned about it. That's how I learned about what the Do Not Detain list was about. You have to do some serious digging. You're not going to find it on your first search or two on DuckDuckGo or Bing or Google. No, you're going to have to do some serious digging. You might have to get yourself into maybe an FBI chat group, or get yourself into a chat group with attorneys, because they all tell themselves the truth in there. They may lie in court and lie to you in court, but amongst each other, they have no choice but to tell the truth. So I really want people to stop and think twice about this pie in the sky idea of a do not detain list. You don't want to be on it. Trust me. And the people that are on that list end up in one of two positions. Either they end up deceased or in prison. And so it's your choice. Do you really want to be on that? Like I try and remind people every week on the podcast that we do, if you really want to find out what's going on, learn who you really are, where you're really from, and where you're really at, because you've been deceived on all three levels. Good night, guys. Be blessed.